Yeah.
That's good. He actually went to university with, so we sort of started out at the same time, and honestly, it's really amazing to see how well he's doing and how good he is. So, please put your hands together. Thank you. It's got a bit romantic now, isn't it? I got quite worked up with them two. Oh, it's in the mouth now, do you know what I mean? But let's bring let's pretend we're singing like the fucking Rolling Stones, do you know what I mean? But in comedy form, that's who we've got next, do you know what I mean? So please put your hands together for our next act. Adam Dorr!
Fantastic, good, I'll introduce myself. So, by day I go by Adam, but by night time Ad PM. You want me to explain the jokes over here? 24-hour clock cycle. I am Shakespeare! And people often ask me, were you named after the Bible? And I go, no, otherwise my name would be the Bible. Now, I was genuinely raised Catholic. Any Catholics in the room? Give us a cheer! Any happy Catholics in the room? Give us a cheer! That means it's working! No, I was genuinely raised Catholic, right? And it was quite hard being raised Catholic. We didn't have normal things growing up, as I'm sure you're aware. We didn't have normal music, so we didn't listen to Soulja Boy, we had Altar Boy. We didn't have Iron Man and the Avengers, we had Jesus and the disciples. So the only endgame I was queuing to see was the Rapture. And if you don't get that joke, you are going to hell. But the worst part about Catholicism, in my opinion, was the lack of normal food. We didn't have Quaker Oats in our house, we had Cardinal Crunch. Half the calories, twice the guilt. But religion gets like a really bad rap these days, guys. And I'm an agnostic now, which means I'm an atheist with anxiety. But religion genuinely saved my life. It saved my life. It stopped my mum getting an abortion. A decision I actively challenge her on. Because I was talking to my mum the other day, I was like, Mum, you know, it's 2026, women can choose, and you chose to keep me. That was the wrong choice. It's fine. I say it with love, to her, not me. And I was saying, look, Mum, if you were back in 2002, you could see that your son was going to look like both of the Wet Bandits at the same time. Would you still keep him? And she said, of course I would, you filthy animal. I am very close to my mum. I'm actually very close to my mum because we are both disabled. Woo! It means I've got another competitor in the fucking Paralympics. No, we are genuinely both disabled. I am autistic and dyspraxic, and she is hard of hearing. She is partially deaf, guy. Oh, yeah, no. Can I get a little like round of sympathy from my mum? Sign language round of sympathy, guys. Get it. That's not really like why we're so close. It's not like, it is true that we are both disabled, but it's not really the real reason why we're so close, unless you consider being originally from Essex a disability, in which case I'm fucking crippled. You know, people from Essex, we've got like a pretty bad rap at the moment. I was just walking down the street the other day, and someone could smell the Brentwood within me and went, you fucking cousin shagging racist. And I went, hey, I'd never vote reform. For comedic effect there, I implied I wouldn't shag my cousin, and that's that's not true. I wouldn't shag my cousin. Incest is not on brand for me. She's too much like a sister, you know. I'm actually very left wing. I'm autistic and I'm left wing, which means I love trains, but I fucking hate rail privatisation. I like socialism, but not socialising. I was at a protest recently, standing on behalf of like marginalised people. You've got the queer community, you've got the Palestinian community, you've got the people police community. We've got a wonderful group, don't get me wrong, guys, but they've got an awful chant. What do we want? Whatever you want. What do we want to? At your convenience. Say it loud, say it clear, unless you want us to shut up, in which case we will. And it's quite hard because like you think autism and like left wing would go like hand in hand, you know, marginalised group, championing the people, and like usually it does, but sometimes it goes into conflict. Like there were tube strikes in London the other day, you know, tube strikes. You were reading about this, and I was really like conflicted about it. Because on the one hand, yeah, up the workers, fuck the rich, and on the other hand, hey, back off, those are my choo-choos. And also, like, I have the superpower of taking things literally. So when people say all billionaires should be hung, I'm like, I don't know, I prefer if they're all flaccid, thank you very much. I don't want to have too many wins. We've seen what happened on the island. You know, yeah, I do take things literally. It's sometimes like it is like beneficial, but not to the cause. You know, like you know, I got picked out of the supermarket the other day in the frozen section being inappropriate because I thought fuck Arnie's was an instruction. I'm also dyspraxic. Any dyspraxic people in the room, just cheer. No, there is. So dyspraxic means you've got like really shit hand-eye coordination, right? And it's really bad. I can't do like shoelaces where these are my boots. I can't drive, so I'm relying on public transport. But my fingering ability. It's better than my handwriting. I learned how to find the clitoris before I could spell it. I know where the G spot is, but I still can't do cursive. I am very passionate about mental health because I'm actually trying to get like a depression diagnosis at the moment. It's really, that's really not appropriate time. This guy's great, he wants to kill himself. Oh, we think he should. No, I've got depression, I'm fairly certain. And if you don't know what depression is, let me break down. Why? Why? Thank you. I know I've got depression, and I'm very passionate about like mental health. Mental health is like a really important issue at the moment, and you know, even when a lot of people we don't agree with. I was watching like the Manosphere documentary, right? And these people, they're horrible, they're disgusting, but there's like high suicide rates in the Manosphere. And I'm really passionate about suicide rates in the Manosphere. And suicide awareness in the Manosphere. I've been telling these guys many ways to kill themselves. Now, I'm very concerned about like the rise of like, you know, political violence and stuff like that, you know, because I got compared to Charlie Kirk the other day on a date. You know, it was a real pain in the neck. But to top it off, she apologised to me. She apologised and she said, but also like it was a compliment, and I was like, how so? And she's like, well, I actually agree with you. So I went, well, the far right fascist Charlie Kirk. So it looks like I dodged a bullet. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I used to be like mildly suicidal, I'd say. But have you ever tried to find the noose while being dyspraxic? It's fucking. I've also got undiagnosed ADHD, so it's just in my calendar, and it's like, oh, I'll do it late. Too much admin. God. Yeah. So why did I choose to be autistic? Well, good question. I chose to be autistic because life was just going too well. You know, I was 4 years old when I got my diagnosis. Actually, it was 2006. The NHS worked back then, if you can imagine such a time. Yeah, I went to my doctor, I looked him in the eye because I could do that back then, and I said, oi geezer, and he said, hello Adam, are you here for a routine checkup? I said, no, I want you to give me the sweet autism vaccine, and he said, Adam, vaccines don't cause autism, that's been debunked many times now, Tylenol does the job quicker. And I said, Tylenol, really? Where did you hear that, doctor? And he said, well, I heard it from Donald Trump. And bear in mind, it was 2016. He's like, oh, Donald Trump, the American businessman? Yeah, you can trust anything that comes out of his mouth. Just ask Bill Clinton's cock. By the way, like, quick tangent, there is a very, very easy way for us to get Trump to admit he was on that island. And the guy, like, hates, and I mean hates, like, being told he's bad at something. So at press conference, all a brave reporter needs to do is like, Mr. President, sir, we've heard that you give terrible head. And he'd be like, that is not true. I give the best blowjobs anyone ever given me, which is as any other president. You ask Bill Clinton, you say, Barack Obama, terrible head. Joe Biden, terrible head. Sleepy Joe, more like Sloppy Joe. He uses I use my full fruit. It's amazing. I don't know whether I I give the best blowjobs. I'm available for children's birthday parties. Which is probably something he said on the island as well. The thing about Trump is he always talks like a child, isn't Trump? He's like, no, I didn't kick the ball over the fence. My brother Daniel did. I said, Daniel, it's a terrible idea. Don't kick the ball over the neighbor's fence. Bad, Daniel. He's a pedophile. Anyway, yes, autism, right. I was trying to have a conversation with my doctor where I convinced him to give me autism, and it was going quite rough, this conversation. He wouldn't budge no matter how hard I tried. And he said, eventually, he said, well, Adam, you're very handsome, you're very charming, you're very well adjusted, you're going to make women extremely happy one day, I can tell. And I said, that's a really weird thing to say to a 4-year-old doctor. But I'm a Catholic, so I understand. And like, he was wrong, by the way. I'm actually out of my very first relationship. I got dumped recently. And she took my virginity, and I took her literally. So we do things like role play, and she'd say, I've been a naughty boy, and she dressed up as a police officer, and I dressed up as a Tory MP and got away with a crime. One time she asked me to treat her like royalty, so I cut off her head. Vive la revolution! No, sometimes like the requests weren't political. She'd say something like, I want you to eat my pussy, and I said, yes, of course, I'm a feminist, and I went and microwaved the cat. R.I.P. Mr. Mittens, you are delicious. I convinced my doctor eventually to give me autism after back and forth. And the way I did it, I told him I can name every single Pokemon, which is 1,025. And he said, all 1,025 Pokemon? I said, yeah, it's 1,025, which is the same number of genders Notorious Bigot J.K. Rowling thinks the left have made. And he said to me, Adam, your reference has gone over my head because J.K. Rowling is not known for being a fascist. She's known for being a beloved yet overrated children's book author. It is illegal to criticise under pain of death. And also, there'd only be 493 Pokemon, which is true. Look it up in 2006. And I said, exactly, Doctor, exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. You aren't real. Neither am I. Flashbacks. We're both fictional characters in a flashback created by an autistic person for the sake of comedy night in Chatham. Therefore, I'm already autistic, and this is a paradox. So just give me the fucking jab. Give me the fucking jab. Genuine thing I read the other day, by the way. Autistic people aren't allowed on flights to some countries, which is incredible. Like they've been as a security risk. Yeah, it's true. It's really terrifying. It's just like, can you imagine if 9/11 was committed by autistic terrorists? Mr. President, another plane has refused to make eye contact with the Twin Towers. You know, I go for airport security sometimes, and they'll see my fidget spinner, and they're like, is that a bomb? And it's like, no, it's a zombie fidget spinner. But it's great, because it means I can get my actual bombs on. They're distracted by the shiny. No, the other reason I chose to be autistic was to make a difference. I've mentioned mental health quite a lot, because I am a very emotionally stable individual. It's very important mental health to me, and I read recently 3 out of 4 autistic people experience suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation. Some even follow through with it. One man in the corner thinks that's not fucking enough. It's an awful, harrowing, shocking statistic. And more importantly, why isn't Elon Musk fucking one of them? We've been bullying the wrong autistic people. You guys have been an absolutely fucking wonderful crowd. I cannot get the microphone. I'm just going to fucking give it to Scott. You've been great. I've been Adam Dorr. Thank you very much.